Here we go. This is the Seahawkers podcast, live and uncatfished. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and my buddy Adam Emmert lighting up the victory cigar after the 24-3 victory at Lumen Field East. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing awesome, man. Defensive dominance, buddy. What an impressive win in terms of a win that we haven't seen out of this team really since Russell Wilson left. Like, just a dominant defensive effort. It's cool to see that from this team because we know the formula as to how they should win, right? Offense has to play well. Defense just hang in there. We had the exact opposite in this game.
we didn't even need that much of an offensive performance, but from the team. Geno Smith, only 110 yards passing. We had Drew Lock coming in and giving him a spell after he went out with an injury. We've got Chris Brubaker in here as a new member. Welcome to the flock to Chris. We've got Carly in here. 11 sacks by this defense, Adam.
11 sacks by this defense, 2 by Devon Witherspoon, guys. Like, that's impressive. The only rookie to have 2 sacks in a game this year so far. Really, we should have just drafted Jalen Carter. I don't know what we were thinking. What a dumb pick.
That pick is looking awfully good because not only did he have a sack or 2 sacks in this game, he also had a pick 6, which, Adam, I was busted on this defense for giving up 100% of red zone possessions. It was Devon Witherspoon with that 97-yard pick 6 that broke that streak.
Sure did, and that was exciting. In fact, just a couple plays before that, I was like, it's time for a Daniel Jones turnover. It just feels right with the way that they've been pressuring him and the way that he is loose at the ball. And what a play by Spoon. The run back was more impressive than the pick. I mean, Jones just kind of threw it to him, but the return was amazing.
Yeah, he did have to make some moves. He fertilized Daniel Jones as he cut back into the field, and then we had some blockers that helped pave the way just to make sure that he could make it all the way to the end zone. It was good stuff.
Jay forgot to comment on a super chat, so we show this one, Jay, but throw down another one, man. Like, you got to get your money's worth, man. Like, we can't leave you out.
Hey, I still have other comments that I starred while I was watching the comments during the pregame, so we may still get there, Jay. You just have to wait. We got Samuel Gelber, who came in first with the super chat at $24.03. The score donation shrunk the Giants. At least they played pretty small, and I've decided to hate them. Yeah, I think I've decided to hate number 22 from the Giants because I think he was the one who injured Geno. Then I think he also threw down Tyler Lockett out of bounds.
Yep.
But I felt okay because Charbonnet laid a good hit on him at one point in the game too.
Oh, absolutely. It seemed like at the end of the first half that the Giants decided, well, we ain't winning this game. We might as well win the fight. And that's how it felt through a lot of it. But Seahawks responded. I like Geno's grit. I like his fight. I understand he got tagged for the 15-yarder, but upon the replay, when we finally got to see what had happened, he just pointed over at the sidelines and told them to shove it up their ass.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on.
It was after he threw down Tyler on the sideline. Yeah. And Tyler got up and made a comment to him like, dude, come on, you don't need to be doing that. And then Geno had words for him too. And it was, I'm okay with that out of Geno.
Absolutely.
First game with Reek and Spoon together, 3 points allowed. Oh man, that was great. Gambling Goat. Now just imagine if we had Jamal Adams for more than 9 plays.
Oh man, story of the first half was just a disjointed game full of flags. I mean, what was it? The second drive, they went backwards like 25 yards and then injury after injury after injury. And the Jamal Adams injury is really kind of heartbreaking, man, just because you know how hard he's worked and he's fought to get back on the field. Made a big tackle while he was out there. It looked like, oh my gosh, like he's playing with speed and force, and he looks good because everybody says, oh, you get the quad injury and you're just done. And it was like, man, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And then with the concussion, which, it's hard to say, like, I'm happy it was a concussion, but I'm happy it was a concussion rather than, something with the lower extremities that he just had worked on.
Well, and just a fluky thing too, where he's diving to take out the quarterback's legs and gets a knee right into the helmet. And you can't even fault him for something that is that fluky, because you see guys dive at QB's legs all the time. We saw it all night, and it was Jamal that just happened to be the one that took the brunt of that injury. Matthew Crawford with the $2 super chat. Josiah and Kinley, if you are still up, go to bed. Go Hawks.
That's right. Dad's watching. Get to bed.
Scott Campbell Photography with the $7.99. I think that's Australian. Hey, boys, all I have to say is Legion of Spoon. We might have been out ahead of this coming out party by by Witherspoon last week, because he had his coming out party nationally this week.
He did in a primetime game, and primetime players show up in primetime games, and Spoon's got all the dog, man. That's the one thing that is totally evident. Take away the sacks and the pick six, all that stuff was great, but his tackling on the little flare out passes and quick wide receiver screens, like, that is a godsend, a revelation. I am so thrilled to see that. It was all over his college tape. I would have been surprised if you wouldn't have seen it in his professional game, but holy smokes, man, he is an absolute gem, and they crushed it with the number 5 pick.
We've got Tanner coming in as a YouTube member. Welcome to the flock, Tanner. Yeah. Got Jay Smith with the $3 super chat. Momo Beyond, 99-cent super chat. And we've got Jeremy Green with $4.99. I love it when we don't play down to the competition and put an ass whooping on the team. We should put an ass whooping on.
That's a great comment out of Jeremy there. I mean, not that he ever has bad ones, but that really kind of does sum up this performance, right? You go, okay, they had 11 sacks. Well, whoop-de-doo. The Giants' offensive line was broken, and they had all backups out there, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, fine. But the point being is that when you do play teams like that, you have to dominate like that. And they did. And one thing I took away from this game, Brandon, like, I'm officially ready to say it, this team is actually really good. It's a really good team and can compete anywhere, because we can see them play through all the injuries with the depth. They're winning different ways, and the defense is coming around and doing what they should do against an inferior opponent. I think it's amazing.
And I realize I still have the banner up saying that we're going live soon, but here we are. We're actually live. And thanks to everybody who is tuning into the show, 179 of you. Please hit the like button, subscribe if this is your first time here. And yeah, when you talk about this being an actual good team, it's fun when they do it on prime time. The mark of a good team is when you're able to beat a team soundly that you should beat. And we've seen, like with Jeremy saying, so many times where the Seahawks come into a game and they kind of play down to the competition. And really, for a couple moments in this game, it looked like the potential was there. They went for a 4th and 1 when they could have taken a field goal. Pete Carroll could have taken a field goal to go. Not only did you hate that, because you had Jason Myers with more than 1.5 field goals, I believe, from the from the PNW Prop Star show. But also in terms of football, going up by 14 points in that situation, you're going into half. It was right before the half, right? So you go up 14 points, you're ahead 2 scores. Then they drive down, and they almost made Pete Carroll pay for that decision, because they get down inside the red zone, and you're thinking, oh, if they punch it in here, then they've climbed back into it. They're only 1 score down, and in the meantime, they could have had the 2 score lead.
Absolutely. I could quite understand that one. Pete and I are just oppositely aligned when it comes to when to go for it on 4th. Like, go for it on 4th when your defense isn't balling out and you need to get points on the board to keep up with the opposing offense. Don't go for it when your defense is crushing it and you can go up 14 points. It looked like the Giants were going to have an impossible time getting it into the end zone, let alone twice. Like, you kick that field goal and it's basically game over. It was game over before then, obviously.
I think that goes into the thinking too, right? As they hadn't moved the ball on the defense anyway, so why not go for it and really put it out of reach, thinking that, hey, we should be able to get 1 yard here, low risk scenario essentially. So I can understand the thinking. It's just I was kind of with you. I wanted the 2 score difference there. Talellum coming in with a $9.99 super chat. Long time, first time, boys. Keep up the good Hawkra.
Hey, just stoked to have you with us, man, along this ride, watching this team, which 3-1 going into the bye with the slew of injuries that we saw over the last 2 weeks. Boy, we all were pissed about that early on, but at this point, I think we're all just thinking, sweet, let's get into the bye week, get healthy, get Geno healed up with whatever's going on with him. My heart was in my
Jarren
throat.
Reed healed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, all these guys. Yeah, with the concussion with Jamal, you would hope that in 2 weeks he'll be back in time for the game against the Bengals. That'd be nice. JR coming in with the $12, $12 for 11 sacks and 1 to grow on for Danny Dimes.
For sure, man. Poor Daniel Jones. And that does show you a big difference in between where the Giants are at and where the Seahawks are at in their progression as a franchise. The Giants have all those injuries on the offensive line. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck wouldn't let us forget about it. And they look like they did. And the Seahawks have all the same amount of injuries, if not more.
They have more. I think the Giants, they're missing their left tackle. They're missing maybe one other dude who's kind of borderline.
Yeah, whatever it was. You know, you'd think I would know listening to Troy and Joe, but I kind of ended up just tuning them out at some point there. But the Seahawks were able to go out there and function now for a couple different weeks with backup tackles and backup guards. In this game, they had to switch Evan Brown out of center and get Olu in. You had 2 rookies on the offensive line, and they played well too.
Yeah, I like the decision there because I forget the name of the player who came in and played guard for the Seahawks when D-Lou went out in one of the previous games. But I think their best combination then was to move Olu in and then move Evan Brown over to guard because, I mean, gosh, when you're trying to make moves like that, it was tough anyway because of the Giants pass rush in this game. I mean, Geno didn't have a whole lot of time back there. Drew didn't have a whole lot of time back there. When you look at the stats, I mentioned it earlier, Geno Smith, 110 yards on the day, 13 of 20. And he was sacked twice, one early on by Thibodeau, one late in the game by Thibodeau. And Drew Lock was 2 for 6, probably should have been at least 3 for 6 because he did hit JSN in the hands going out of bounds. And yes, Lisa in Seattle were reminded that the JSN does still have a broken hand. So
yes.
we should caveat that.
Absolutely. Although not seeing a lot of production from him yet, still early on. I'm not going to give up on the thing or anything like that. But yeah, the offense as a whole, I thought struggled throughout this game. And that was interesting, man. That's not something that I expected at all against the Giants defense. It hasn't been great throughout the year. They played one good half of defense against the Cardinals. And I really thought that they were going to get it going a lot more. But honestly, with the way that the defense was playing, they really just didn't have to. They just had to not screw it up at that point. And they did that. And Drew Lock, give him credit. When he came in, he honestly had the best drive of the first half by a good amount. And that big shot to Fant, that was cool. I mean, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and, tiptoeing down the sidelines. What a big play from him.
Oh, that was cool. And we got T-Boy, our producer, in the chat saying Ben Brown was inactive, so they couldn't bring him in. So that that made that move a little bit more necessary.
And who?
Yeah, Ben Brown. That's our backup left guard. Didn't you?
Okay.
Don't you know?
No. That's how thin it's getting, man. Like even somebody who follows the team a little bit, I lose track.
Alex Simmons coming in. How are you liking that pick of Sharbs over John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmitz? Yes, we did see their center go out. And so, yes, that was another one of the injuries that happened during the game was the Giants center. And he hadn't been playing well to this point either. So, I think there's other players that maybe we could have looked at. But also, I am liking the just that level of Sharbs brings something different on when he's carrying the ball because he's always looking for contact. He's delivering contact, and you can see how that gets the team fired up.
I'm here to say it right now. I was wrong about Charbonnet. He runs more physical than I thought that a lot of people were. Well, at first when he came out and we drafted him, I thought that it was a little overhyped, his physical running style, just looking at this stuff at UCLA, and man, does he finish runs. And that's exciting to me from somebody that just loves running the rock, playing good defense and playing physical. He is absolutely a pounder.
We got Scott H coming in with a $4.99 super chat. As I said in Discord, I hate the Giants. They're a horrible, dirty team. I hate them more than the 49ers and Rams.
No.
I'm glad the Seahawks whooped their tiny bleep. Catfish. There you go.
I get it. That's where Scott Sports hate lies. But I do have to say that most of the Giants fans that we interact with, whether when we go out there for games or in the comments on our previous videos, they've all been good people, man. Like, Giants fans are legit. So I don't have the same hatred, I think.
Got the snail with the member for 12 months, our longest tenured member, I believe, here on YouTube. Yeah. It's Charbazard.
Charbazard. I don't know where that comes from, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Pokemon reference.
I'm feeling it. Gosh. Oh, it's a Pokemon reference? Well, there you go.
And it just goes to show which one of us is tuned into pop culture, and it's not Adam.
Not I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Looking at the stats for the game. Oh, that doesn't come up how I liked it, that I wanted it to. I thought it would scroll
Looks good
down.
to me, man. Good job. I can't scroll.
Do that. How does it not scroll when I have it brought up?
I don't know. Well, you can read off some of them still. They're still up there.
Yeah. I suppose. We've got Geno Smith. I mentioned his stats. Ken Walker ended up going 79 yards on 17 carries. He had a 70-yard plus run taken off the board by the officials. Was that clear and obvious? It was kind of clear, but maybe not obvious.
No, it wasn't. From one angle, it looked like his elbow was down, and the other one that I thought was a more clear representation, the kind of the lower angle, it did not look like that his elbow was down. But either way, I mean, I guess it was fine. But yeah, that was a bummer. I was like, man, if that's the way we score right out the gates here, man, we're destined for a big victory.
Yeah. Yes, Jay. Okay. Jay having to come in and say Walker was down. Okay. You agree with the officials. We disagree because we're Seahawks fans. It's fine.
Don't bother me with your facts, logic, and reason, Jay. Okay.
Charbazard, 31 yards on 5 carries. He got some of those a little bit late. Fant, 2 catches leading the team with 63 yards. Tyler Lockett behind with 4 catches, 54 yards. DK Metcalf, 34 yards, 3 catches, and the 1 touchdown through the air. And that was a fun little catch by DK in the end zone.
Oh, the rope-a-dope. He took a play out of Tyler's playbook on that one. Like Tyler on the 2-point conversion the week before, where he kind of, rope-a-dopes the DB there, and he comes down with it. Nice throw by Geno as well, rolling out and finding him there. That was cool. It seemed like every one of DK's receptions was pretty impactful.
Another guy who was super impactful in this game, linebacker Bobby Wagner, 9 tackles, 8 assisted tackles, 2 sacks. Huge game from Bobby.
Yeah. I think he's got a little in the tank. Just a little bit.
Just a little. And Devon Witherspoon, yes, 2 sacks from him, 2 sacks from Jordan Brooks. Uchenna Nwosu, also 2 sacks. Yeah, I think I had a comment back here. I do have to, I know I'm going to take the loss from Seahawkers What If. Phil Leidick saying, I still can't believe that Clinton was calling for 8 sacks on the What If show. I thought he was drinking the happy juice when he said that. Apparently, he was actually a bit cloudy and negative with the Seahawks getting 11. It's the tie for the most sacks in franchise history. The last time they did it was back in, I think it was 86 against the Los Angeles Raiders, and had 11 sacks in that game. So, yeah, you got to go back a few years for when the defensive line was that dominant.
Oh, man. In the beginning of the second half, too, they just took over. Like, it was just at that point where you're like, oh, this is literally in the bag. Every time that Daniel drops back, he is going to have somebody in his lap and pick a defender, right? I mean, Miles Adams had a sack. Boy Mafe had a sack. I mean, it was basically Oprah out there being like, a sack for you, a sack for you, a sack for everyone.
Yeah, Miles Adams getting double teamed and still getting a sack on the play. Yeah, fun stuff from the defensive line. And Holy Hand Grenade asking, what was the taunting penalty on Geno? And we mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show. What happened was number 22, I can't even think of his name right now for the Giants.
Dickhead?
The guy. What's that?
Dickhead? I think that's his name, right?
There we go. Yeah. He was the one who tackled Geno Smith out of bounds and kind of it's a borderline dirty hit when you they're trying, they've talked about taking that hit out of the game where you bring a guy down and then you actually land on his heels as you're dragging him down. And I think, was it Xavier McKinney? Is he number 22?
That feels right.
Yeah. So, oh no, he's number 29.
Then that feels wrong.
It's the other guy. So that's where it started. And then it was Tyler Lockett. He got thrown down out of bounds by the same dude. And then after Tyler got up and went and kind of talked to him the way that Tyler does, not in the emphatic way, but I think he was like, dude, you got to chill because you don't need to be taking us out on the sidelines. And that's when Geno pointed at the sideline. So it was just the taunting penalty was just him pointing at 22 or the Giant sideline. It was a relatively benign movement by Geno, but it was, I mean, the refs were calling everything.
They were calling everything. They wanted to be a part of this game on Monday Night Football in prime time. There's no doubt about it. The first half was just almost unwatchable with all the penalties. Now, is that saying that they weren't all correct? No, not even close. Like most of them were correct, but holy smokes, man. Like they were front and center. Who was the lead ref in this game? Do you know what his name is? He's so smug when he calls a penalty, man. Like it rubbed me the wrong way every single time. Even when it was against the Giants, I was like, man, this guy again.
This guy just wants to be on TV. That's why they're throwing these flags all over the field. Man, oh man, look at the stat line for Devon Witherspoon. 6 tackles, 1 assist, 2 sacks, 1 pass defense, 1 interception that was taken to the house, and 2 tackles for a loss. I think the 2 tackles for the loss might actually be my favorite stat of his.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because they were so electric. Like every time he gets in the backfield, something happens. And, as much as I bang on Troy Aikman and Trey Buck, like they did bring the conversation to the idea of, well, Spoon's in the slot right now with, Artie Burns and Kobe Bryant being out, and they put Mike Jackson out on the edge. And look at how effective he is because he is so much closer to the line of scrimmage. And it was like, oh, I hate it when you guys might be right, but you might be right here. Like that might be a place where he has the biggest impact on the game.
That might be the way to do it. Dan Voorhees coming in. How about Nick Bellore having a baby? Yeah, he couldn't make the game, but he flew back home. And yeah, that's why he wasn't out there. The Seahawks announced it on Twitter that he was flying back home. So congratulations to Nick Bellore. He gets to celebrate with his new baby, the first Seahawks win. Hopefully everything went well.
Hey, big shout out to Nick Bellore and being a new father. That's awesome, man. And one thing that I do know about that is that we have one more hilarious human being in the world now. Thank you, Nick Bellore. Appreciate it.
Holy hand grenade, also a minor thing. Can we not play 5 yards off? Well, when you've got a double-digit lead, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, Holy Hand Grenade and I are kind of locked hand in hand in a lot of ways. I mean, I bitch about this every single week. Just come on, man, get up, take away the space, like because they're dinking and dunking you. And the thing is, the majority of the league plays that way as well. I mean, it's kind of the in vogue thing, but it is maddening at times, no doubt about it.
Daniel Jones finishes the day, despite being so far behind for most of this game and attempting 27 passes, only 23 yards on the day, averages 6 yards per throw, 2 interceptions, sacked 10 times. I guess Paris Campbell, that counted for a sack for the 11.
Yeah.
And 66 yards rushing for Jones. There he was leading the way on the ground for the team.
Yeah.
Breida, they gobbled him up, only 30 yards, an average of 2.1 per carry.
That was awesome to see because I have some Breida nightmares from when he was on the 49ers, no doubt about that. But their best play, obviously, was Daniel Jones with the football in his hands and tucking it and running it. They got Taylor real bad on a 4th down with the read option.
Right.
And overall, the Seahawks defensively wasn't great on 4th down. They had to stop early on that first drive, and that was a huge deal. But from that point forward, man, they were getting jellied a little bit on 4th.
Yeah, that would be maybe one of the downsides. But yeah, Brad Rogers. Remember that name.
Oh, I will. I'll remember Smug Brad, no doubt.
Smug TV. Got to be on it, Brad. There we go.
Yeah, he was talking to America. I know it's a different ref, but whatever.
But he was. He had the He was channeling that for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Carly Perkins, is there a better way to go into the bye week than with this sweet, sweet victory?
I don't think there is. I mean, after a couple close victories, after the tough loss to the Rams early on, this was much needed. Something where the team came out and dominated. And that's something you can really build on throughout the bye week. And that juice and that energy will carry over. I think it's a big deal that they came out and took care of a business against an inferior team. I said on the pod, Brandon, that I thought this would be a 2-score game pretty easy. I got poo-pooed a little bit, but I mean, come on.
Well, when you have 3 turnovers, the Giants did win the time of possession battle with 36 to 24, but I suppose when you throw a pick 6, that'll do that. Only 13 first downs. In terms of yards, we still out-yarded them. How surprising is that we still out-yarded the Giants for as much time as they are on the field?
I don't know, but do you have concerns about the offense after this game?
Well, considering how this played out with Geno getting hurt, with so many offensive linemen being hurt, I would be concerned if this were the offense at full strength, but there's a lot of things that I'm excited about with this offense. Yeah, DK only had 3 catches on the day, but he had that one catch over the middle that was just a dart that he was able to snag. We've seen DK so far this year improve on his route running, and I think that played out in terms of his touchdown reception too, just the extra little things that he's able to do, whether he's picking up from Tyler or whether he's picking it up from Jake Bobo, who he's given credit to as a guy that he's learned things from through this offseason. And how about Jake Bobo? We got to see him highlighted on some blocking plays in the line. So between having it just feels like with this offense, they have guys that are able to pick up the slack, and it played out in this game too. You had Noah Fant, just tiptoeing, tight roping down the sideline on a pass from Drew Lock. Every time where there's been an issue with a guy going out, somebody on the offense has showed up in a different way.
100%. And I don't have any reservations about the Bulbasaur. I don't have any reservations about the offense, even after a performance like this, mainly because they have shown that they have been the backbone of this team over the last year and 4 weeks here. And I have no reservations thinking that they're going to get back on track here coming out of the bye week. And if the defense can stack this sort of performance, look out. And it also kind of makes you wonder. It's like when you get some semblance of health on this team, when people come together, like, man, this is a good football team. Like, they should be in the mix to get to the NFC Championship game. I know that sounds hyperbolic coming off of a big win against a lowly team. I know. But it's the fashion in which they did it with as many backups as they had on the field. I think that's an impressive victory, and it's not to be taken lightly.
And if you can start to see this defense coming together and play the way they did in this game, if you start seeing Witherspoon continue to build off a performance like this, now that Reek Woolen is back in the fold, how exciting.
Damn near had a pick. Rick.
He nearly had a pick. We didn't even mention Quandre Diggs' pick.
Oh, yeah. That was so much fun. I love seeing Quandre in the mix.
Randy Horner, 169 watching, only 25 likes. Let's get the likes up, and we're going to do a giveaway here pretty soon as well. So stick around. Yeah.
Clinton had the message up there about the subs, one away from 3,400. He went to the game, boys and girls. He was there. He was in the end zone leading those Seahawks chants that you heard so loudly over the TV copy. That was so satisfying. We joke that the Meadowlands is Lumen Field East, but I mean it's official now, right? Like, I mean that's what it is.
Yeah, they always show up. So yes, we will get G Mall back after the bye. That was a fun little play on words that we had in What If this week.
Oh, fun. Okay.
All right, everybody. If you are in chat, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. We're going to pick someone here in the next 3 minutes to you're going to get something from our Seahawkers Pod store. We've got hoodies there. We've got hats. And so if you want to get in on that action, that is good looking hat. I know. I see that after Clinton put that
Whoever
up there.
designed that logo is a genius.
I know. It was a great job by whoever that was.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We've got folks in the chat here. Cool, Lively. Let's go Hawks. That's all y'all just have to say that and be entered in.
I need to ask permission from Kale because he's always in on the chats. Can I duck out of the camera here for a second, get my other beer that fell on the floor over here and open it? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah. All right. I'm doing it. I hope it's okay with Cal. All right. It's happening right now.
Did you duck out before? Was that a problem?
Nope.
Okay. Trollosaurus 37. I hope I'm picked. I want to rep this SHP merch. We had Clinton giving out stickers while he was there around the stadium. So thanks to our co-host Clinton for doing that. And yes, let us bring up the well, do you have any other comments you want to recognize before we go and give something away here?
Oh my gosh. Well, Nate Schutz is he gave me permission. He's always in on the comments. I just want to give him a shout out. Lots of Go Hawks from people. I mean, is there anything more to say than that? No, gotta drop the Go Hawks. Yeah. All right. So are you scanning now? Is this random or are you picking it yourself?
No. This is Nightbot. I should bring Nightbot up on the screen. So I do have it up on the screen.
I hate Nightbot. He's an asshole.
No, Nightbot is fine. I know sometimes
he badgers people.
Nightbot badgers people about using too many emojis and that sort of thing.
You don't know what's up.
We've got all these folks here who have commented in the last 5 minutes. You're all eligible to win. If you got missed, it is Nightbot's fault and not ours. But I do see Trollosaurus in there. So I think as long as Trollosaurus is in there, that we're good. So, all right, here we go. Okay. Nightbot, gonna pick someone. Let's roll it.
Are we trusting AI?
Jay Smith.
Hey, all right. Well, he didn't comment on his super chat. That feels fair. Nightbot did a good job.
Yeah. And you can go to seahawkerspod.store if you want to rep any of the merch there. And yes, Jay Smith, shoot us an email. Send me your address, gohawks@seahawkerspodcast.com, and we will work out how to get you your free merch.
Heck yeah, man. What a game, dude. That was fun to watch. It wasn't stressful in terms of the score, really, for the most part. Just stressful because you're just hoping another guy doesn't just drop like a fly at some point here. But yeah, man, that was fun.
We've got some other super chats that I had up here in the queue. We've got Michael O'Hara still up at 4:45 a.m. in Ireland. What a defense. But I couldn't come at a better time and buzzing to get over to Seattle for the Browns game. Go Hawks. Yeah, Michael making the trip over from Ireland for that throwback game against the Browns.
What up, Michael, man? Yeah, I think that you're going to enjoy that, especially, you said it with the throwbacks, man.
All right. We've got Benson DeWalt. I had to take a shot for every sack we got.
Oh, no.
How
are you typing, Benson?
I'm heading to the emergency room. Yeah, that would not in the future. Now, again, this only comes around once every 30 plus years. So that's the good news. But the bad news,
might come around in 2 weeks for all you know.
You don't want to have to get that stomach pumped too many times.
Nope.
No. All right. The Seahawks get the win at 24-3. Man, it's a fun win, and like everybody's been saying, when the bye week comes in week 5, we aren't really looking forward to it, but when we're as injured as we are, we're liking that quite a bit.
Heck yeah, we are, man. A big victory, 3-1 going into the bye. Let's get healed up and let's kick some ass going forward. I believe, man. I fully believe after 4 weeks, it's a quarter of the season. They're 3-1. I think that's awesome. They are set up for success. I can't wait to go out and wreck the rest of this division and get on track here, man.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.